You're watching Experience Comic Culture and Sales, streaming live daily to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
Hey everybody, we're here at Fat Jack's. My name is Olias.
I'm Lukas.
And we're here to sell you guys some books today. Should we wait till a few people come in here? Or can we see how many people are in here?
I guess we would, no, I don't think so. So I guess we can just get started.
All right.
So hopefully everyone's enjoying the nice weather today. It's really nice out, which is surprising.
Been a beautiful day. Had a nice Sunday here at the shop already. I put up on the rack some old books. So Silver Age. These are all Silver Age up here. Ranging in price, but nothing too crazy up here. I also pulled a lot of modern keys today. And also some minor keys. And let's see. All right, people are starting to say hello.
Yeah, people are starting to say hello.
Right.
Steve Wagner, Preston Eskridge are coming in. So cool. Let's get started.
All right. Let's just go down the rack then. I have more than this stuff. By the way, you guys comment if you want to see older and newer stuff. You guys let us know what you want to see. We have plenty of it all. All right.
Yeah, we have a huge back issue collection. So if we don't have it this week, if you comment down below, we can have it next week, hopefully.
Yeah. So first up, I have up here, I have Green Lantern number 141. The Green Lantern TV show is coming very soon to HBO Max. James Gunn just announced that. Very excited to see this show. Apparently it's going to be more Earth-based.
Apparently it's going to be Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan kind of doing detective work on Earth, like actually being the protector of their sector instead of, like every other Green Lantern book going off into space.
Yeah.
So it's going to be like more of like the actual job of a Green Lantern versus like the average comic book issue that we expect from them, at least.
And hopefully if the first season does well, they'll obviously, blossom more into space for the next season.
I want Kilowog. That's all I want. I want to see Kilowog.
That would be amazing. So the reason I brought number 141 out here is because it's the first appearance of Omega Men, a rather obscure team that DC has in their catalog. This is a $30 book at Very Fine Plus, Green Lantern 141, first appearance of Omega Men.
We're going to want to hold it out further because apparently it's a little bit difficult for them to see.
Yeah. Maybe we'll bring it closer at some point. But
yeah, well, when we go to break, we can bring it closer.
Okay.
But so Omega Men. I actually don't know much about them. What do you know?
So they're very much a motley crew of alien and intergalactic DC characters.
Okay. Anyone I would recognize or?
Probably not. Like it's when they introduced them, they were really just brand new characters. The whole roster was brand new characters. The most recent run that they have had was by Tom King, actually.
Oh.
I read it back in high school. My friend recommended it to me, and it's fantastic. Was
it a New 52 run or DC Rebirth run?
Definitely wasn't New 52. Maybe it was like the DC Universe thing. They did a different banner on it. Like it was
DC Rebirth then.
It was hard to.
One?
No, it wasn't. That's the thing.
Huh.
I don't know. It's hard to place in chronology. I think it's like 2014 or 15.
Okay. Lobo was introduced in Omega Men.
That is also true.
So
Lobo was first introduced in there. Everybody knows and loves Lobo. the unkillable bounty hunter from DC.
Pastiche.
Yeah. But yeah, so I read that book. I didn't know about Tom King at the time, but Tom King did write this one. So yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
You keep me updated.
Yeah, I'll keep you updated.
So
Preston is interested in the Secret Origins, so let's talk about that actually really quick.
Origins on the bottom row. Okay. Let's see. I got a couple here. These are both $10 books. Let's see here. We got.
The first one is a special giant size issue featuring Superman, Batman, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, Flash, Adam Strange, Martian Manhunter, Green Arrow, and Challengers of the Unknown.
Is that what they mean by Manhunter from Mars? That's
yeah. Martian Manhunter. Manhunter from Mars kind of doesn't roll off the tongue like Martian Manhunter does.
Yeah, not quite.
So they definitely tightened that down later on, which was quite nice.
And then so that's issue number.
I'm pretty sure it's just the specials that they would drop every year.
Oh, this is a special. Okay.
And then this is the 80-page giant, which is
number,
more Secret Origins.
Yeah. So this is issue number 8 that I have here. This is about how the Justice League started. There's here on the cover they advertise Aqua Baby to Aquaman and Super Baby to Superboy to Superman.
Due to Superboy being in canon at that time, later got retconned. But yeah, Superboy was a thing for a long time.
Yeah.
Before they finally gave it the axe.
The Secret Origin books kind of served as a way for them. Yes, I guess they could use it to retcon a lot of origins, and they have in more recent years, but also was used to just kind of retell origins of heroes that everyone knows and loves that they probably couldn't get their hands on when it was first out.
Preston claims both of the Secret Origins.
All right, fantastic.
Yeah, John McClane joins. I love that name, by the way. Okay, so Preston.
I met him once in the shop.
Oh, you did? Yeah, Preston Eskridge has claimed Secret Origins.
All right.
Okay, awesome.
So we can spend a moment on. I think I pulled another Secret Origins.
Okay. I'll put this aside.
We're kind of talking about Green Lantern right now, so.
Yeah, Green Lantern right now is getting a lot of spotlight after that horrific 2014 film. I'm pretty sure they want to get back in everyone's good graces after that. Yeah, gracious. So hopefully it's good. I would be very disappointed if the new Green Lantern series is bad, especially with so much riding on it. It's going to be the first foray into like the space stuff.
Yeah.
So it should be big.
So speaking of Secret Origins, I pulled out a book here that features John Stewart. This is Secret Origins number 9.
Yeah.
From 2015.
Has Swamp Thing on the cover.
This features a few origins of a select few heroes, but also especially features John Stewart. This sort of retells his origin in a different way. He is portrayed as a young man in Detroit who was close with his mother. And after he goes through his life as a Marine, he's contracted by Ferris Air to design a building. And the Guardians of the Universe actually send a manhunter after him because they took note of him and they're like, this is a good candidate for a Green Lantern.
That seems incredibly predatory.
Knowing how crazy the Guardians of the Universe are, I guess I wouldn't put this past them. But basically, John protects Carol Ferris, saves her life, and the Guardians deem him worthy of being a member of the Green Lantern Corps.
Apparently, according to Neil Adams, DC editorial wanted to call John Stewart by the name Lincoln Washington. He talked them out of it.
Lincoln Washington.
I quite appreciate that. I feel like that would have been a little bit too much presidency within that name.
Yeah.
John Stewart gives a everyman vibe to it, I feel like, because it's such a common name. Like, legitimately, anyone could have that name, and I actually wouldn't be surprised.
Sure.
In comparison to, like, let's say Clark Kent or Bruce Wayne.
Right.
I feel like I can hear John Stewart and I immediately think Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Which is good. Right. You want that. But
So yeah, this is one of the easier books to get into if you want to kind of familiarize yourself with John. So yeah, this is a cheaper book. It's a $5.50 book, not necessarily considered a key, but is a great introduction into Mr. Stewart. So I pulled a couple other important appearances of John.
Okay.
I have Green Lantern number 49. This is from the Blackest Night era.
Blackest Night is one of my favorite events of all time. Unironically, it's so good.
So this issue, during the Blackest Night event, John fights a huge army of Black Lanterns, including his late wife, Katma Tui. Katma basically, this is a big moment because Katma tells John that the Black Lanterns are better than him because he couldn't save the victims of Zan-Shi. Those are alien names. I probably am pronouncing wrong.
Basically, the planet that he let blow up, and he was the only one that survived. And it's a huge thing that has been a major part of the character. He was pretty cocky before letting that entire planet of people die. So
yeah.
It really taught him a lesson when he was a Green Lantern. It was pretty early on in his career, I'm pretty sure.
Right.
And then they retconned it later to, well, not retconned it, but they built on it later to state that basically when John Stewart got the Shame Ring, I forgot exactly, I think it's the infrared corpse, or...
Oh, wow.
When they made that, basically it's powered off of shame, and John was incredibly powered by that because of his shame over killing, I think it was like 8 billion lives, because he still felt guilty about it, which is pretty crazy.
Dang.
But yeah.
That's intense. That's a little bit if you want to start the pen. There's a pen to write over that, but up to you. I don't know if I said the price of this. This book is $3.50.
$350.
$3.50 for an important John Stewart moment.
Note to Preston: the Secret Origins are reprints, apparently.
Yes.
We should have. I didn't know that. Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right. The final. Actually, no, we have one more after this, but
yeah.
The next one I have is Green Lantern Corps number 60. This is also a $3.50 book. This is from 2011. This is a very cool issue because it features Mogo the Living Planet. So at this time, John was part of the Indigo Corps, and Kyle Rayner was part of the Blue Lantern Corps. They come upon Mogo only to find that he is a Black Lantern. I actually did not know about this story before I researched this. Yeah, so Mogo is a Black Lantern in this story.
That is horrifying.
And they find him because basically he's just what's the word? There's an expulsion of Green Lantern rings just flying from his core. Like a massive amount of
because they've had so many Green Lanterns on the planet at the moment when he turned, probably.
Yeah. So he's basically has corrupted those rings, so they're just being fucking flown into space. And Kyle tries to purify Mogo, but is unsuccessful. And as a result, John creates a sniper construct from his ring and actually kills Mogo by shooting him in the core.
Which is horrifying.
So sad moment for Mogo.
Poor Mogo.
But a big moment for John. He had to make this, terrible decision.
Very much.
Yeah.
Very much a sad moment within. Very much, John is the soldier of the Green Lantern Corps. Mm-hmm. I feel like a lot of the Blackest Night and later issues really embody that, with him being always able to make the tough calls in comparison to how he probably would hesitate just because it's so difficult. Stewart can at least separate himself from the moment and just get the mission done, I feel like, and that might be because of his army training. Right. But that's always been something that I found really interesting.
Yeah.
Was he Army or was he Air Force?
Marine.
Marine, that was it.
Marine, yeah. Like Frank Castle.
Ah, of course.
All right.
Someone said, idea for the never gonna happen Marvel versus DC crossover: Ego versus Mogo. I'm just gonna say Mogo wins.
I don't know how that hasn't happened before. That would be amazing.
But Mogo stops though, because the Green Lantern ring. The Green Lantern ring is literally
if they're at their full power, then yes, I could definitely agree
What's
with that.
what's the biggest feat that Ego has done? I never really dived back into how strong he was.
The problem with Ego is that he's been overtaken by other people and other powers before.
Really?
Even in the most recent Al Ewing Guardians book, he was just overtaken by this cult of Skrulls. And yeah, they basically used Ego to summon Dormammu, and it became a Dormammu planet instead of Ego. So Ego hasn't really had a great time.
Poor Ego, man. poor Ego. I mean, at least in the MCU, he died with some honor, but Ego in the comics is just not getting that much love, I guess.
Ego wasn't even a planet in the movie, and I don't even want to talk about that. That just bothered me.
I mean, he did it for a moment. It was like a single scene where they had the Kurt Russell face on the entire planet.
Yes, that one moment, that's true.
But I'm looking. Yep.
But yeah, I would love to see a death battle on that YouTube channel. Death battle. To put Mogo and Ego up against each other. All right, so one more John Stewart relevant book I have here today is The Amazing Event from Jim Starlin and Mike Mignola, and that is Cosmic Odyssey. We only have 2 books here at the shop because it was such a cool series, but I have number 2 here for $8.
And then
we also have number 3. Yeah,
number 3, book 3
here.
Yeah, the prices are very.
So I have book 2 for $8 and book 3 for $5. Just make a note of that here.
Hello, Kenneth. Ego's problem is he spends too much time trying to bang Earth girls. Yes, that is indeed, for some reason, was a plot point within the movie. But yeah, we have Cosmic Odyssey 2 and 3. If you guys are interested at all. I mean, if you just focus on being an evil planet, he wouldn't lose all the dang time. I mean, yeah, that is very true. I've always wondered, could Ego control his own gravity? Would he be able to get near another planet and just distort their gravitational pull and just absolutely destroy them? Depending on if he's the bigger planet, he could just suck them in and basically make them his moon.
That is true, actually.
And then he just makes a bunch of gravitational rings and just starts killing everyone. Yeah.
So this story is significant because this is the huge moment in which John kind of pivots from being this cocky, over-the-top core member to a serious member when they find that the Yellow Lantern bomb on Zanshi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is what caused them to die.
Right. So John goes in hot, thinking he can save the planet, and he cannot.
Yeah, because the bomb is yellow.
He realizes it's yellow. So this was a serious tone shift for this character.
I mean, it is pretty serious. It's just really funny that it's yes, the greatest weakness, yellow. Yellow,
yes. This is when yellow was still a major weakness for the Green Lanterns. But yeah.
John McClane claims Cosmic number 3.
Number 3, all right, excellent.
Okay. Also describe the covers, because I think the covers are.
Oh yeah, these are amazing Mike Mignola covers. This is featuring Orion and Superman here in the skies. They seem to be fighting the Hawk, Thanagarians.
Thanagarians.
Yep.
Yeah.
Facing off some Thanagarians here.
My favorite thing from the animated show was the Thanagarian invasion, when Hawkgirl was forced to decide between the Justice League and the Thanagars. And she had to actually choose one or the other. And she chose the Justice League, and from then on, she was no longer known as Hawkgirl throughout the entire show. She was called just Shira Carter.
Oh, okay.
They refused to call her anymore Hawkgirl. She no longer wore the mask. She no longer just completely open to everyone, which was a pretty big thing for the show at the time, because it was like we had the consistent members, and all of a sudden now we just had her without the mask consistently.
Right.
But yeah, Cosmic Odyssey number 3 goes to John McClane.
Right. So I'll just place number 2 up on the rack for now. Let's move into some more DC stuff.
So, you guys don't know me yet, but this will result in an unreasonable amount of research into Ego's gravity. Yeah, like what if, like, you know, like how Goku trains on like ×2 gravity? Do you think like if you trained on Ego's planet, it would just like make you like incredibly strong? Is that something that would work? Yeah, basically.
All right, so I have an answer.
Oh, you actually have an answer?
Yes. So gravity is derived from the mass of a planet.
Okay.
Because everything on Ego, the living planet, is alive and therefore controlled by the consciousness of Ego, he can expand or contract his mass.
Right.
So he could
turn up his gravity.
Wow.
That would be wild. If he could just, he should just go to Earth and then just be like.
That's probably his best, like, power set then.
Yeah, just gravity manipulation. Like, yeah, if anyone ever steps on his planet, you could just like be like, okay, 10 times gravity. They're just crushed instantly.
That's it. But maybe that's what's kept him down from really defeating.
It kept him down. The gravity powers kept him down, really.
Right.
What do we have next, Elias?
Next up, I pulled some Booster Gold kind of entry issues.
Yeah.
I'll start small and get big. Booster Gold number 0. This is all by Jeff Johns, by the way. This is a Crisis kind of tie-in.
Yeah.
This book is only $3.50. This is a 0 issue that they were trying at the time to kind of introduce you into the character before, giving you a whole ongoing.
Jeff Johns really wanted this character to work, as you can obviously tell, and he landed really well. I mean, he's now a staple within any Ted Ford books and a staple within anything Blue Beetle related. So.
Yep, and he will be getting his own TV show on HBO Max as well.
Yeah,
as James Gunn announced. How do you put it? Imposter syndrome.
Yeah, superhero with imposter syndrome, which I think is a very fitting idea for that character, because he very much is like, he's just trying to get by off of minimal work and minimal effort,
right? And
trying to reap the rewards, and then he learns that no, you have to be an actual hero. So
excited to see that adapted to a TV show form. I think it'll suit a show form very well. So yeah, this is issue 0 here.
I would love if we also get to the point where eventually we have the storyline of Rip Hunter meeting him, because Rip Hunter is actually Booster Gold's son, but he can't ever tell him because that would screw up time and time shenanigans. So Rip Hunter,
sorts of time shenanigans will ensue.
Yeah, indeed. So and because Rip Hunter's a time master, time master, I believe that's the term. Mm-hmm. He's not allowed to reveal who his parents are. So if Booster Gold was revealed to be Rip Hunter's parent, Booster Gold would then be targeted even more than he already is.
Right.
Which would be unfortunate.
So next up, I have Booster Gold 1. This is the actual beginning of the ongoing series from 2007 by Jeff Johns. This is a $6 book. That's something else I wanted to mention about Booster Gold is he's one of the few characters whose first appearance is in their own solo book.
Yeah.
There's definitely a select list of characters in comics history in general that have debuted that way, and he is one of them. This is not that number 1. That's from the Silver Age, but this was his New 52 era, if I'm correct. Series.
Pre-52.
Oh, pre-52. Okay.
Yep, New 52 would come later. This is post-Crisis.
Right.
I believe this is around the time of Infinite Crisis when he would this label.
Yes, that is true.
So, yeah.
So this is a $6 book. This is the main cover. Again, a great way to enter the world of Booster Gold and kind of get into the character before the show.
Yeah, I mean, he's an interesting character because he doesn't have any powers, but he also has like all this knowledge about the future, and he has Skeets, which is, I hope they do Skeets justice because he's hilarious.
Yeah, he's his android companion.
Yeah.
So here's a bit more of a rarity here. We actually have a sketch variant of that first issue, that same first issue of Booster Gold. This was a promo item originally. Right here, this is a $40 book. This is definitely much more of a collector's item right here.
Yeah.
Just as the primary sketch before they did any inking or coloring on this. Against promo item, $40.
Yeah, it was a promo item, so it wasn't really supposed to go on sale at the time, so which is why we have it. But yeah, this is basically right when he was announced, right off the hot off the press.
Yeah.
But yeah, Booster Gold. I think we watched the Cable versus Booster Gold Death Battle, and
yeah,
it said that
also cool.
Booster Gold would win due to the fact that his suit is just so busted. So powerful. He can emit and project force fields on anything and himself. So pretty cool. Pretty smart ability.
All right, so I'm going to place these on the rack. Speaking of Infinite Crisis, pulled some issues of that.
Yeah.
I have the main event, but also I have these secret files and origins that they did. We have the first printing and also the second printing variant. The first printing is $7. The second printing is $6.50. This was a way for them to kind of stretch their legs in the Infinite Crisis universe and event, and feature some characters who were also impacted by the event. They didn't really have a lot of side series to the Infinite Crisis event.
It's a pretty contained event, honestly.
So this is kind of an interesting exception to that rule.
Yeah. Infinite Crisis, if you guys don't know, is also the series where Jaime Reyes, who is now the current Blue Beetle, was introduced.
And we'll be seeing him in his own movie later this year.
Yeah, this summer.
Yeah, this summer.
So, should be very interesting. I'm excited for the film.
So, that brings us to the Infinite Crisis main books that I do have. I have Infinite Crisis number 1. The very first one by Jeff Johns here. This is $10 for this book. Infinite Crisis number 1.
Do you think they'll ever adapt Infinite Crisis in a way?
I would hope that, any of the crises
Yeah,
from
sure.
DC, I would love to see on a big screen.
I would hope they would actually do Infinite Crisis on Infinite Earths first as like a launching pad if they were going to do the whole
Definitely.
But I would want that to be like a way later thing.
Yeah.
Who would you want their Thanos to be, quote unquote?
The DC's Universe Thanos?
Yeah.
Well, Darkseid is the easy answer.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, because they fumbled that, in the Snyderverse. I don't know if they'll be eager to return to Apocalypse anytime soon.
If they did, they would have
I
to
hope they
rebuild
do.
him up.
Yeah.
Hopefully with more New Gods stuff.
Yeah.
There was that New Gods movie that got canceled.
Yeah, that was unfortunate too.
Yeah.
That seemed promising.
That did seem. It was going to have Granny Goodness and everyone.
No, it seemed like the director really cared about Jack Kirby and his creations, so it was too bad that they never made that. Eternals didn't do so well at the box office, which many might compare.
Eternals and New Gods.
Eternals and the New Gods, obviously both Kirby creations, but
I still think who do you prefer, unironically, the Eternals or New Gods? I think personally it's definitely New Gods for me, but I think the later stuff that was added to Eternals.
Yeah, Eternals, didn't have too much substance right off the bat for me.
I think the 2000s run for Eternals was the thing that really, when they gave Icarus amnesia and made him recruit everyone.
John Romita Jr. was on the art. You talking about that one?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, it was John Romita Jr.
It was pretty early on in the 2000s.
So yeah, that's Infinite Crisis 1 there.
Yep, we're good.
Next up, I have Infinite Crisis 2. This is a $5 book.
Has Power Girl on the front cover.
Was she witnessing
the cracking of the
multiverse?
Probably from Superboy Prime.
Yeah.
As we like to call him. One of the strongest versions. What's wrong with Anti-Monitor as the big bad? I think it's a little bit too much too soon.
It might be a big concept for an average viewer to understand, I guess. I
feel like he should definitely be built up, he should be the next level after Darkseid. I feel like it goes regular villains on Earth, Darkseid, and then kind of Anti-Monitor. Because Anti-Monitor not only threats their universe, but the multiverse. So it's much more of a bigger threat.
And also kind of more cosmic, Green Lantern adjacent, I feel like, right?
Yeah.
So, all right, next up. Infinite Crisis 4. This is also a sketch variant, but it's a second printing, so a little more of a select few out there. This is a $7 book. This is very fine condition, near mint. This is issue number 4.
Yeah, and it has Superboy fighting Con-El, a.k.a. Superboy, the clone version, and Krypto, the super dog, in his classic getup with the little dog collar and cape. We love Krypto here. Krypto's awesome.
I never watched that Super Pets movie that they just did. What was
it?
With The Rock and
Kevin Hart. Yeah, it was The Rock playing. He was it him playing Super Krypto?
I think he was Krypto, and then Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart was a bad dog.
Ace
the Bat Hound. That was it.
There you go. All right.
Pretty.
So next up.
It's funny how that did better than Black Adam.
Yeah, I would have too.
That's kind of crazy. But
so next up, I have the final issue of Infinite Crisis.
We have issue number 6.
Issue number 6 of Infinite Crisis is a $6 book. $6.
And on the cover is Superboy Prime basically exploding and the multiverse ripping to shreds.
Lovely.
Superboy Prime and Alexander Luthor basically are trying to bring back their worlds and sacrifice the other Earths, including our Prime Earth, to get back their planet, seeing that they think that this planet wasted their chance that they were given during Infinite Crisis. And so Superboy and Alexander are angry and trying to use the Anti-Monitors. I think it's cosmic. I think it's literally part of his body to rechannel the energy to bring back their planet.
Right. There's Infinite Crisis number 6.
But yeah.
All right, moving on into more DC. Kind of highlighting the movies today.
Yeah.
Because James Gunn announced a whole slate of TV shows, movies, animated shows. There's one in particular that's a very, I would say, obscure niche team that I don't think a lot of people know about, but that is the Terrifics.
Yeah.
Here I have Terrifics number 1. Their very first issue together. This was written by Jeff Lemire.
Yeah,
which I did not realize until more recently. This is a $10 book.
This was
Terrifics number 1.
Weasel standalone movie or rebrand. Yes, indeed. But yeah, this book came out during the new Age of Heroes. So Silencer, Curse of Brimstone, Sideways, all those new characters, and they decided to make this team out of Mr. Terrific, Metamorpho, Phantom Girl, who was a new character, and Plastic Man, which are three characters that we know pretty well from over the years, but haven't really worked together. And then Phantom Girl, who's a completely new character. But it's a pretty sick team. Okay, claimed for Nick.
Claim Terrifics. All right.
Okay. Yeah, I'm really excited for this. If it's a show or movie, it's going to be pretty interesting. Either way. But I mean, I would love to see Metamorpho in live action.
Yeah,
like his effects would be sick.
Yeah.
But yeah. Also, Mr. Terrific is so cool.
Next up, I have a few Creature Commandos issues. They announced that there will be an animated series for these guys.
Yeah, and the voice actors are also going to play the live action team.
Yeah,
they have a crossover. So
James made a point of saying he wants consistent actors and consistent portrayal from each, medium to make it more kind of consistent and accessible for the audience. So I have issue 2, 3, 4, and 8 from the first Creature Commandos run. These are each $3 books. Right. Issue 1 we unfortunately sold before the show
was announced.
But yeah, we got these 4 issues right here.
Yeah, Creature Commandos, you can definitely tell is a James Gunn passion project.
Definitely.
I think it's pretty interesting that he chose that, and also Phosphorus Man and Frankenstein's Monster and Bride of Frankenstein. Apparently, Bride of Frankenstein is going to be the main character of the show.
Okay.
Which I think is pretty interesting because I feel like we don't usually get that character. John McClane claims all the Creature books.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Very good. But yeah, obviously this is the best way to get into this group of characters. They've not had many appearances in general. So definitely starting with this first series is a good move. James Gunn also clearly loves Weasel.
Yeah, he's putting Weasel back in
sure
this.
to include him in there.
Yeah, so I guess we aren't getting a Weasel standalone movie, but we are getting Creature Commandos, which should be interesting because Weasel is in it.
Never know what the future holds, right?
We truly do not know. I want a silent film, an art house film with just Weasel for an hour and a half straight with no dialogue, just him staring into the camera, like really angrily.
Yeah. All right.
What do we have next, guys?
Next up, I have Superman Up in the Sky #1 by Tom King and Andy Kubert. This is supposedly going to be partially adapted by James Gunn for his Superman Legacy movie that's coming out. Not a lot of people have picked up on that yet, so this is only a $5.50 book. But it is definitely something that's worth grabbing before they announce much more about the movie. This is a very cool story, limited run, I believe.
Yeah, it was a Walmart exclusive at first, and then
that's right, yeah.
and then it was so popular that they basically reprinted it into actual comic form, fully, and then it sold out still. And then they reprinted it for a second time. I think it got like 3 printings, I believe, in total. It's apparently a very good story. I mean, this is also the same team that did the Batman run, the Tom King Batman run.
That's right.
So this was around the time where he was doing that run at the same time. But yeah, apparently this story is just about Superman. Basically, this little girl has been kidnapped. She's disappeared, and Superman decides to go off into space to search for her, even though everyone is telling him, don't, you're going to leave Earth defenseless. But he knows that he needs to go off because everyone needs to be there. He'd rather risk everything just to save one life. And the entire series is just him going through space trying to find this one girl.
Cool.
So it's a very, very personal story for Superman without that much Earth being involved.
Cool. Yeah, Superman was a character that took me a while to get into. Lucas kind of introduced me and steered me to the right storylines, but I think I was just talking to someone at the shop actually yesterday about this. Superman, kind of just assumed as this invincible, end all be all character, and not a lot of people want to pick up his books. But there's definitely some really great series that really explore him in a deeper light and in a more interesting way, rather than just being, this super powerful godlike figure. So yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the things I didn't really like about the Snyder film was how much they portrayed him as a god.
Right.
Because that isn't what Superman's about. It's about him being just one of us. He could literally be anybody, and that's the point of him.
Right.
But he's the best of us at the same time, which I think is a very... Is it a little cliche? Yeah. But is it an old value that maybe we should hang on to? 100%.
All right. Next up on our DC selection, going to give you guys some entry books for Jaime Reyes' Blue Beetle in anticipation of his movie. First up, I have the current series that is actually ending this week from Blue Beetle. That's Blue Beetle Graduation Day, #1. This is a very nice variant here for $14.99. This variant is by Raphael Albuquerque. $14.99 variant of Blue Beetle Graduation Day #1. This is a great way to jump into Jaime Reyes as a character.
Yeah, it's basically taking place after he's graduated from high school and he's moving into a new city and he's getting a job with Ted Cord. So basically it's just that. That's the graduation day it's referencing, is the fact that he's graduating from high school. But yeah, scarabs are starting to show up. Blue, yellow, red, all the scarab colors, green, and now he has to deal with that on top of getting his own scarab under control, because the Reach are pretty deadly.
Very curious to see if the movie's going to address the Reach themselves at all, or if it's just going to be, a corporation after Jaime to try and get the scarab from him. I wonder how extraterrestrial this movie will get.
I think still the best adaptation of the Reach is from Young Justice. Mm-hmm. The way that they introduce them as make them seem almost like a benevolent force, and then they quickly flip the switch.
Right.
So interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jaime Reyes is such an interesting character, unironically. And I've been loving that they've been actually writing in Spanish for the recent graduation books, which is nice.
Yeah, there's even that variant cover of issue 5 that was purely in Spanish.
Well, the entire book was in Spanish, that one.
Yeah, no, I understand that the cover of
the cover too.
Issue 5, yeah. All right, next up, I have a second print of Blue Beetle #1 from 2006. This is, I believe, his first series right out of Infinite Crisis.
Right out of it.
This is a $10 book, very fine grade. Blue Beetle #1 right here.
So in Infinite Crisis, they didn't explore much about him, what the Scarab could do. It mostly was about him getting it and then it attaching to him. But this is actually exploring him now with the Scarab and the powers, and basically trying to balance now his new powers plus his normal life as a high schooler. So pretty interesting. I'm pretty sure this is what it's going to be mostly based off of, the movie. So
this is definitely a good issue to pick up if you want to really get into Jaime before the movie. All right, next up I have issue #0 that they did in the New 52 banner, the New 52 line. Blue Beetle issue 0 by Keith Giffen and Tony Bedard. This is from 2012, issue 0.
I wonder, so what exactly are scarabs? Are beetle shells, right?
Scarabs are a type of beetle.
A type of beetle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Usually, you would see a lot of scarab symbology in Egyptian hieroglyphics, which why in the I think that's why they portrayed it that way in the Young Justice show. Where they have the scarab ritual and everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's a cool kind of nod to obviously a terrestrial mythology, but then we find out that it's actually extraterrestrial, which kind of plays into like the whole conspiracy of, you know, how the pyramids were built and like all this stuff. So it kind of plays into a very interesting corner of, I guess, Earth culture, as you would call it. What do you call it, factory?
It's satisfactory.
I think that means that it's time for a break.
Do you remember what it was like when you were a little kid and you got a letter in the mail? Now imagine that letter was filled with information about your favorite shows, pop culture questions, links to things you're going to want to see later, and even sneak peeks at upcoming programming here on The Experience. That's what the EXP mailing list is. Every week, we send you sneak peeks, information, and all of the relevant links for all of the shows you want to see. Sign up now on our website or scan the QR code that's on your screen right now.
To be continued. 3 little words that hold the secret to the next great story. 3 words that will thrill you, confound you, give life to new possibilities. Every variation of To Be Continued is a promise of adventure, a promise of excitement, a promise of unseen wonders and unexplored worlds. A promise that every issue you read makes you a part of a never-ending journey, and behind every page there will be an unopened door waiting for you. This story to be continued at your local comic book shop today. Visit comicshoplocator.com today.
Did you know that every Experience show, including some exclusive content, streams on Twitch? Check it out, twitch.tv/the_EXP. Or just scan that QR code.
Going.
I'm just going to shift the rack over a little bit so you guys can see it a bit better.
Okay. Slowly but surely.
And if you can switch over a little bit too.
Okay.
I want to make it easier for you guys to see the books. This seems like a better distance.
Yeah.
Sold.
Yep.
Just to get rid of it.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Let's jump back into it. I grabbed a whole run here of Blue Beetle Rebirth. To give you guys another way to introduce yourselves to Jaime Reyes. Issue 1 through 18, uninterrupted. So any issues you guys are looking for in particular, feel free to comment those. Or if you guys are looking for the whole run, also, let us know. These range from 350 to 450, with the number 1 being 450. So this is a bit of a different run for Jaime. Lucas, could you tell them a little bit about it?
Yeah, so they lean more into the magic side of them. Basically, they lean more into the fact that in Egyptian mythology, the scarab was really prevalent. So sadly, they made him fight Dr. Fate, of all things, which is kind of crazy. But we did get more reveals that they're kind of like the anti-Green Lanterns
Okay.
Which is pretty crazy to think about, because they can create whatever weapons they want. So I guess that makes sense, but it should be pretty interesting.
That's fun.
So yeah, issue 1 through 18. Get yourself into Jaime Reyes before the movie.
Yeah.
Blue Beetle Rebirth. All right. Let's see what we got next.
Next up,
You want to move into some
Marvel. Yeah. Next Marvel movie is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which will be closing out the trilogy, which is kind of crazy to say. Never thought Guardians of the Galaxy would get a film, let alone 3. But, yeah, pretty wild.
So I got some big Spider-Verse relevant issues here. Stack here. We're going to go through them.
Since Spider-Verse is coming out this summer also.
Spider-Verse sequel looks incredible.
Does look amazing.
Um,
The animation's phenomenal. I mean, unironically, I think it did a renaissance for animated films overall.
Most certainly. So first up, I have a couple variants of Deadly Neighborhood Spider-Man. This has been a very fun series from Taboo and Benjamin Earl, kind of bringing a mystical side to Peter and exploring the Demon Bear.
Yeah, Native American folklore. It's interesting, to say the least. The art alone is gorgeous.
Yeah.
And it's pretty crazy. You get some crazy Uzumaki, almost Junji Ito vibes from the art.
Yeah, worth it for the art alone.
Yeah.
These are both $5.50 books, by the way. A couple variants of Daily Neighborhood Spider-Man #1.
But yeah, the series is pretty fun. But I think the issue that everyone really has been going crazy for has been the issue that introduces a character named Dream Spider.
Yeah. So I pulled the whole run here. So got 2 copies of issue 1, but I have 2, 3, 4, and then 5, which is this big deal first appearance
Of Dream Spider.
Dream Spider.
Which is another character, the other main character within the story, basically getting Peter's powers for a little bit. Obviously, a lot of rumors that, this was made specifically because she might be in Spider-Verse, or, it is a new Spider character, therefore she might appear more often, but we don't know. But yeah, this is her first appearance, so if she does appear again, it'll be interesting to see what her powers are exactly, because they were fighting in the dream world at the time, so would that mean that she would be able to travel through dreams like Sleepwalker, or would she be more like Peter?
Right. Could be a very cool concept to explore. So
John McClane claims Blue Beetle 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, and 18.
I'm glad you found the specific ones you needed. All right, 6.
I got it.
Yeah, do you want to just
Just keep going.
pull those down? All right, excellent. So yeah, a lot of Spider-Verse hype. So full series right here. Or you can just have issue 5 if you want a nice little key. As a $15 book. $15 for the first appearance of Dream Spider. Definitely gotta figure out a better way to shift these. Just gonna leave that up here for now. All right. Next up, I'm going to bring out #1 of a rather polarizing Spider-Man story. That is, of course, the J.J. Abrams and Henry Abrams Spider-Man run, featuring art by Sarah Kelly.
Yeah.
I am a sucker for multiverse Spider-Man stories. I think I really enjoyed this at the time. But I would also say that a lot of people did not like this story. and we're kind of bullying
Abrams.
Henry Abrams. He's
Uh,
just a little kid.
yeah.
Leave him alone. Spider-Man 1. This is an $8 book. $8. This is a 5-issue mini, but I think this was a very interesting story. Lucas, if you want to spiel it to them a little bit.
Yeah. So basically what happens is Spider-Man is fighting. I forgot the name of the character exactly. It was a newer character at the time. I
Brand
think
new
the
villain,
Horde
yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah.
The Swarm. But they were fighting them. Mary Jane got caught in the crossfire. She dies. Peter loses an arm, which is pretty crazy. But the thing is, in this universe, Peter and MJ had a kid. I think his name is Charlie? Or am I getting that wrong?
No, I think, wasn't it just like Ben or something?
Something along
Something
those
simple
lines.
like that.
But yeah, Peter isn't really part of his life. He kind of, every time he sees him, he thinks Mary Jane. And then one day, the kid's powers activate, and he starts becoming Spider-Man. He takes over for his father, basically. And Peter isn't that happy with it.
Yeah. This is a rather disturbing story once you get into once you find out basically what's been going on with Mary J. And all that stuff. It gets pretty dark, but it's a very cool series. So I have the cover A for issue 1, but I also have this variant here for $15. This is a very nice variant here featuring the cityscape with Spidey here.
Yeah.
So got 2 copies of Spider-Man #1. Another way to introduce yourself to another multiverse version of Spidey right here.
J.J. Abrams himself will come down into the Spider-Verse film and
Yeah, they're gonna make a spin-off, I'm sure.
But yeah, Spider-Verse. Who do you think is the Spider-Man that you're most excited for? See,
Spooderman.
Spider-Man. That definitely should be fun. I'm excited for Spectacular Spider-Man from the TV show Spectacular Spider-Man.
Is he supposed to be in it?
Yeah, he is.
Oh, that's fantastic.
You could say it's even spectacular. But yeah,
Amazing.
I love Josh Keaton as Spider-Man, and I love that show. I think it's probably one of the best adaptations of Spider-Man as a character. So yeah, no, phenomenal series. Highly recommend. It's on Netflix. It's only 2 seasons. It was sadly canceled, but well worth the watch.
For sure. All right, bit of an older book here, but not too old. I have the very first Spider-Man. That's issue 1 for $20. This is the first time that Earth 616 Peter and Miles met up and teamed up in their very own story. Spider-Man #1 for $20.
They were fighting Mysterio, who was jumping between universes, and I think it was in Miles' universe, and then he went to Peter's, and then Miles went to Peter's universe instead of vice versa.
Yeah.
Or am I thinking incorrectly?
No, because then the second series takes place in...
oh, yeah. So it's actually
616.
Peter goes to 1610.
1610, right?
Yep.
So Spider-Man #1, they did a sequel series to this as well, but this is the very first volume and the very first issue. Obviously, Miles is the main focus of the Spider-Verse movies, so this is a very cool appearance and very cool storyline that features Miles. So.
Yeah, especially because in Miles' universe, at least in the Ultimate Universe, Peter Parker dies before he can ever meet him, so he never actually got a chance to meet Peter Parker. So This is basically giving him the ability to meet Peter when he's already an experienced veteran within being Spider-Man. And also, within the series, Aunt May and all those characters from the Ultimate Universe also get to meet this version of Peter.
Yeah. Very cool story.
I think my favorite is when Aunt May sees him and he just immediately recognizes that it's just an older version of Peter.
Yeah.
Pretty touching, unironically.
Yeah. All right. Let's see.
We're still
Where to
exploring
next?
more Spider-Verse stuff.
More Spider-Verse, plenty more Spider-Verse. let's do this book. So we just did Spider-Men. Now we'll do Spider-Women, Alpha number 1. This is a $10 book, very fine grade. Spider-Woman, Spider-Gwen, and Silk are all featured for the first time together in this very here book. Right. So this is very cool. Basically the first time that they interacted in a team setting. I believe this was after the main Spider-Verse event.
No, it was actually during.
Oh, during. Okay.
So Silk was actually being chased by the Inheritors because she was the bride.
Right.
And so the Spider-Woman basically banded together to hide Silk and try to get her as far away from everyone as they could, from the Inheritors specifically. So it was a quite interesting series, and Silk ended up just turning herself in eventually,
Yeah.
which led to a lot of the main series problems.
Right. Yeah, Spider-Women Alpha number 1, $10.
Hopefully Silk gets introduced into the series, especially since we have already Spider-Gwen.
Yeah, I hope so.
Or I guess I'd rather say Ghost Spider, since that's actually her superhero name.
Yeah, another thing. I'm not used to that at all, Ghost Spider. Because
I
Ghost
think-
Spider was originally the Spirit of Vengeance Spider-Man.
Oh, really?
People hate on that, but I think it's an amazing design for Spider-Man. it's in the first Spider-Man game. It's
Yeah.
like the full
The
blue
full
flame.
like stitched together Spider-Man costume.
I hunted and collected the first appearance of that Spider-Man for some reason. Maybe it'll be worth something, with this movie coming out. But it's across 3 annuals. It's Deadpool annual, Hulk annual, and a Spider-Man annual.
Why was
Very
he?
weird. It's like a
What happened to him? Was it? Is this just
so
like an alternate
basically
version, or-
he was a jerk version of Spider-Man who basically he had a cape and everything. He was very kind of Superman-esque.
Oh,
Just
okay.
in the way that he thought he was this, big kind of godlike figure. And he basically had to go to hell to like save MJ.
Okay.
And basically, anyway, I guess he either died there or something to that effect. And then he gained the Spirit of Vengeance. And then it's like the last page of the final annual issue, where he becomes what they were calling Ghost Spider at the time. So that's the original Ghost Spider. So I still call her Spider-Gwen, even though she's technically Ghost Spider. Anyway, so this is a very special issue. This is Edge of Spider-Verse number 1, the original Spider-Verse series, featuring Spider-Man Noir. I have 2 copies, both very fine, for $10.
Sadly, Nicolas Cage will not be back as Spider-Man Noir.
Yeah, very
but,
sad.
Phenomenal character. Love the design. I love the simplicity within the design. And yeah, I can hold it.
You want to do those?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea, actually. In that same volume of Edge of Spider-Verse, I have issue 4, also for $10. This is the very first printing of this book here. Yeah, you want to hold that up there?
Yep.
This is a rather terrifying edition of Edge of Spider-Verse, as it features a horror version of Peter. I don't know if you recall this story, Lucas.
It is my favorite Spider-Verse story.
Yeah,
it's insane.
Super creepy. What's the creative team on this actually? Chapman Benetti.
Yeah, I don't really recognize the creative team, but it's a really horror-esque story. In the end, you're actually rooting for Moreland to kill this version of Peter because it's so terrifying.
Right. That's the most amazing part about this book is all the other Edge of Spider-Verse, issues. You're obviously rooting for that version of Spider-Man or Peter or whatever it might be. But in this version, this is actually one of the worst versions of Peter that you will encounter in the multiverse. So
yeah, it's pretty horrifying.
You're definitely rooting for Moreland at the end to just end this evil version of Peter.
If you guys want to be traumatized, highly recommend reading it.
Yes.
One of the best Spider-Verse stories, though, unironically. That and Spiders Man.
Yeah, that and Spiders Man.
Spiders Man is also a very interesting version of Spider-Man that it's literally just a bunch of spiders that think that they're still Peter Parker.
So next up, I have the more recent Edge of Spider-Verse series. I have issue 2, 3, 4, and 5. These are each $6 books. These are featuring some newer Spider variants, and Spider-Gwen is in this issue 2, as well as Spider UK, Mini Spider, and Shothra. So this Edge of Spider-Verse series was cool because there were actually a lot of fan-submitted Spider variants.
Yeah.
So this was a very unique series in that way, and I believe at the end of every issue they also featured a fan concept design of even more Spider variants. So issue 2. Issue 3 featured Spider-Man India, Night Spider, and Sakura Spider. Night Spider is the Spider variant where Black Cat has the powers of Peter. And that was also a very unique
She got it from the Spider Totem, that Spider relic that she stole from, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah. Then issue 4.
I expect to see those cosplays happen very frequently too.
Oh, yeah. New York
Their
Comic Con
costumes
this
sick.
year, I'm sure, is going to be ridiculous with all the Spider-Verse costumes.
That and the Kraven the Hunter one.
Yeah. That's still supposed to come out in the fall, by the way, the Kraven the Hunter movie.
Oh yeah, that is, which is kind of insane.
I'm nervous.
Morbius to Kraven.
Kraven, yeah. Edge of
There's
Spider-Verse.
just a secret Morbius sequel.
Yeah, it's just a Morbius movie. Edge of Spider-Verse number 4 features everyone's favorite Spider-Ham, voiced by John Mulaney in the movie. There better be Spider-Ham in the movie.
No, 100%. He better be in the movie.
Sun Spider, which is a fan-submitted Spider variant.
Yeah.
And the Spider-Mobile.
Well, actually, Spider Buggy is this one. I'm pretty sure. Oh, is it? Oh, they say
Yeah,
Spider-Mobile.
Spider-Mobile. Yeah. Everyone's favorite Spider-Man gadget, the Spider-Mobile, is featured in this issue as well.
Well, in that universe, everyone's a car. It's like the Cars universe. It's really weird.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
But Peter has a secret identity. I think it was some car-based pun. Forgot what it was.
No.
But like literally, it was like every name had like a car-based pun to it. So it was pretty wild.
Yeah.
Hello, Thomas. Thomas R. Bishop just said, "What's up, everyone?" Pretty good. It's beautiful outside. Hopefully, everyone's enjoying the weather. Hopefully, it stays that way. Oh yeah, isn't Parker already a car pun? Yeah, that is very true.
Parker, that's good. Maybe they actually keep his last name.
Yeah.
And then issue 5 also features Hunter Spider, Web Weaver, and Silly Spider.
Yeah.
So this one's cool because Hunter Spider is basically
Kraven.
a Kraven Spider variant.
Basically, what if Kraven got the spider powers?
Yeah, very cool one.
It's pretty creepy, but I love the design for the costume. It looks pretty sick.
Yeah. Do you want to do me a favor and just put these? I'm just going to cover like the bottom row with the new stuff.
Okay.
So, yeah. Next break, we'll rearrange this.
Yep.
All right, so next up, we have the current foray into the Spider-Verse in comic form, which is Dan Slott's Spider-Man series.
With Mark Bagley as the artist.
Mark Bagley on the art, classic Spidey artist, well known for his
Spider-Man.
Ultimate Spider-Man run.
Yeah, one of a great introduction series if you're trying to get into Spider-Man.
Definitely.
Always highly recommend it.
So this one's been a big seller. If you don't want to get into all the nitty gritty current stuff that Mr. Wells is doing on the ASM run, Spider-Man is definitely where you want to turn. I have issue 1 and a variant, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So first up, $5.50 for the main cover of Spider-Man, number 1.
Yeah. It's a pretty fun series, mostly just Spider-Verse shenanigans, as Salat likes to do, usually.
And then I have a variant of issue 1. This is a $15 book. Trade you.
Yeah. Who is this? Oh, this is just a regular goon on the front.
Yeah, it looked like Sin Eater because of the color.
I was also thinking that. I was like, either that or a scroll. But yeah, variant of issue number 1.
Then we have issue 2, 3, 4, and 5. Issue 2, 3, and 4 are all $4.50 books. Issue 5 is $5.50, and I would mention that it is a variant edition.
Issue 3. Issue 4. And issue 5, which is a variant edition, but it is the Planet of the Apes variant.
Brand new series that just started.
Yeah. I've still not read the number 1. Have you?
No, I'm not.
I still got to read that. That is on my list.
Definitely do some reading tonight.
Of course.
And then, so here's the big deal issue here.
Yeah, this is the big the reason why we're doing that.
The reason that we're talking about that Spider-Man series is because in the latest issue, that's Spider-Man issue 7, Spider-Boy was introduced. Right
at the
here,
very end of the book.
Right here at the very end of the book, we have the first appearance of Spider-Boy. This is a $20 book right here.
Yeah, so it's a brand new character. Apparently, it is Spider-Man's longtime sidekick that when they came back from this major Spider-Verse event, basically the world got rewritten and this character came into being. His name is Ian, apparently. That is about all we know about the character. Since it was literally just the last page. So next issue we'll be probably learning more about the character. But yeah, this has been flying off the shelves. Due to the fact that Spider-Boy is the first time that Spider-Man's ever getting a real sidekick.
Right.
I think it's one of the only modern sidekicks to happen in Marvel. Bucky's a sidekick, but that was way early on.
Right. It's funny. It just reminds me of what is it? The Thunder from World's Finest. What was that?
Oh, Thunderboy.
Thunderboy.
So you read all of World's Finest?
I'm not caught up, but I just remember that cover because it featured a retcon, sidekick.
Superman's sidekick.
This almost feels like a similar, stunt. But
I just trust Spider-Boy. I've never met Ian that wasn't a supervillain. Fair, very fair. But yeah, he knew Miles's and Peter's first names, which is kind of
yeah.
He was like, Peter, Miles, you don't recognize me? It's Ian.
So yeah, this is a hot book. You're not going to find it too easily. So
yeah,
$20 right here.
We had to limit the amount that we were selling per customer because people were buying. There was even a variant cover with Spider-Boy on it, which we sold out of completely.
Before I even walked in the door.
Same. What do you got next for us, Elias?
I think that's the end of my Spider-Verse selection.
What? I'm hoping that they don't censor Japanese Spider-Man. I hope he literally says "Emissary of Death." That would be very funny.
Oh, right, yeah.
If they censor that, I'll be very disappointed because, speculation aside, it's been a great series and another great book. Yeah, it's pretty good. Personally, I prefer it over the current ASM run, but to each their own. But yeah, Next up, we have some older 2000s-esque issues for Marvel.
Let's see here.
So Marvel Point One is the first cover appearance of America Chavez.
Yes, so America Chavez obviously was just featured in the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness movie. This is her first cover appearance. Marvel Point One, sort of a jumping off point for the Marvel Now series, and yeah, I guess you would call it a series.
Do they have multiple issues for this? Or
This is a one shot.
Okay.
Just sort of introducing the titles that were going to be featured under this banner. This is a 1550 book, by the way. 1550 Marvel Point One, first cover appearance of America Chavez.
And then next up,
I have a Wizard special edition comic. Marvel Knights. This is the first time they mentioned Yelena Belova. This is 1050 for this book. Yelena Belova was, of course, just featured in the Black Widow movie.
as Natasha Romanoff's sister, and she will be the leader, or one of the leaders at least, of the new Thunderbolt team whenever that movie comes out. Which, crazy enough, Harrison Ford is going to be Thunderbolt Ross.
What?
Wait, did you not know about that?
I must have heard. I forgot.
It's actually insane. People are angry already behind the scenes because he hasn't grown the mustache.
Wow.
People are like, but Thunderbolt Ross, his one thing is the mustache. You have to grow the mustache.
I'm going to be very disappointed if he doesn't have a mustache.
Yeah, if he doesn't have the mustache, we riot. But yeah.
1050.
Yeah, Yelena Belova. She also fought recently in Hawkeye, so she also they seem like they're really prepping her up to take the place of Natasha within the MCU. So
yeah.
Next up,
we have Secret War Book 2. This is the first appearance of Quake, who was featured heavily in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show. This is a Brian Michael Bendis and Gabriel Delato book.
Yeah, you might know her as Sky, which I think is very, very funny. That in the beginning of the show, they named her Sky. And then as you learn that she was adopted, and her real name is actually Daisy. But it's really funny that the hero named Quake is called Sky.
So yeah, 25 on this one. $25 for the Secret War Book 2.
Claim Marvel Knights and the first Quake, Thomas R. Bishop.
All right.
Okay. Yep.
All right. Next up, a little bit different, but it is under the Marvel Comics banner. This is the second appearance of Dr. Aphra, Star Wars' Darth Vader issue 4. It's a 1250 book. 1250.
A lot of people have been petitioning for Dr. Aphra to become a character within the Disney universe, since she is basically the opposite of a Jedi. She uses AI technology, like super technology, to basically gain an equivalent to the Force powers, seeing a little bit of the future, being able to precog. But yeah, she's basically the counter opposite of a Jedi. Instead of relying on nature, she relies completely on her technology. And it's led to some interesting things with her and Darth Vader due to the fact that he requires technology to live, and she can somewhat control technology.
Yep. Yeah, this is definitely a fan favorite character right now, Dr. Aphra. Yeah, just $12.50 for the second appearance of Dr. Aphra. She also has solo series.
Yes, she does, which has been doing pretty well.
Yeah.
I think they're already in issue 1, 2, or something like that.
Definitely, I think
For the second volume.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, she's been going strong for a minute now. But yeah, Dr. Aphra. Hopefully they introduce her either in the Ahsoka show or any of the other ones. But yeah. The entire Star Wars announced so many movies and shows recently.
Yeah, it'll be curious to see.
Yeah, it'll be curious to see after the mess that was the last trilogy how they handle that. Okay, Thomas also claimed the second Dr. Aphra.
All right. Leave that there for you. All right. Next up, I grabbed some Sentry entry-level books. This is actually another character that was first appeared in their own solo series. That was Marvel Knights' banner of Sentry, number 1. Don't have those with me, but I do have the John Romita Jr. Sentry series. Couple copies of number 1, the main cover and the variant. $5 is what we're asking for these books. Sentry is apparently going to be played by Stephen Yeun.
Yeah, which should be interesting. I know a lot of people are foaming at the mouth because an Asian actor is representing Sentry, but honestly, Stephen Yeun's such a good actor, I don't even mind. And Sentry is a character that has a lot of nuance to him, playing a Golden Age character while also being psychotically broken, and basically flipping between the Golden Age and Modern Age of comics.
So yeah, got a couple number 1s there.
Plus the power of 1 million exploding suns.
Yes, that's right.
Which is the statement that has repeatedly made people not want him to fight Superman.
Yeah. And then I have Jeff Lemire's Sentry limited run. Jeff Lemire and Kim Jacinto did this very, very good Sentry series right here. I have the number 1 for $4.50. This is a really nice kind of reimagining of the Sentry, I would say. I think every volume of Sentry kind of treats his relationship with his psyche and with the Void differently, and this one did the same spectacularly.
I think it did a lot of amazing things, similar to his Moon Knight run, basically redefining the character.
Right.
It's just unfortunate that not that many people wanted to keep the continuity of this book.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate because this was also the series where he fully merges with the Void and his normal personality become gray Sentry.
Yeah, they reach an equilibrium. It's a very cool series. So this is a good way to jump into this character. You really can't go wrong with any Sentry number 1, I would say. But this is a pretty short series, only 5 issues. So good place to start.
Amazing.
Next up, I have a couple copies of Shadowline Power Man number 1 by Fred Van Lente and Mahmoud Asrar. This is the first appearance of the modern Power Man. $7, very fine on both of these copies.
I was telling Elias that this version of Power Man is kind of like a melt between Danny Rand and Luke Cage. He uses chi to then make his skin unbreakable, which is very much a mix between both of their powers.
Very cool fusion.
Yeah, so it is very interesting. He was just recently featured in the Thunderbolts mini. So, yeah, pretty interesting character that has been getting some promotion and some push from either editorial or the creators. So, fun character.
The first I heard of him was from the Ultimate Spider-Man animated show.
Oh, really? Yeah, that version. Well, that version was also Luke, though.
Was it?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, they treated him like this character. But
yes.
He was still technically
he was still Luke.
Cage.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So he didn't use chi at all.
Right.
And that was why also Iron Fist was in the series, too.
Right. But yeah, that's the first I was like heard of this version of him.
Yeah, a younger version of Power Man.
All right, let's go down the rest of the rack here. I just got a few kind of random Marvel keys here. Let's see. Incredible Hulk 332. This is the Return of the Leader. 1150. We're asking for this book. Incredible Hulk 332.
And the cover is, the regular Hulk versus Gray Hulk, which is pretty interesting. There's also like an Afro version of Hulk, like in the corner.
Oh, that's Leader. Is
that Leader?
So this is the version of Leader that was all beefed up. He was no longer just a small guy with a gigantic forehead. He was now on par with the Hulk strength.
His body was
instead
actually
of a long
equal.
head. Now he has just a big, brain like this.
His head was actually equal to the proportionate to the rest of his body.
To the rest of his body, yeah. That's right.
Crazy.
Oh, 1150 on Incredible Hulk 332. Let's see. Let's grab this one. So this right here is the first appearance of Omega Red. That is in X-Men number 4 from 1991. First appearance of Omega Red right here.
Hopefully he appears in Deadpool 3. That would be fun, especially since Hugh Jackman will be reprising Wolverine, or what many people suspect he'll be reprising Wolverine in that series.
This is a very fine grade, by the way. $25 we're asking for this book. $25.
What was the theory that we made? That like he's going to come back as just Hugh Jackman, not even as Wolverine?
Yeah, he's just going to be a regular guy.
And like Deadpool's just going to be treating him like Wolverine, and he's going to be like, "Wait, stop, please, leave me alone. I'm just the actor. I'm just an actor."
But yeah, Omega Red has been heavily featured in the recent Wolverine comic, and he's just one of my favorite X-villains, honestly.
Yeah, no, he's sick. He's right now in X-Force.
Yeah, that's right. He's part of the X-Force team. He's actually cooperating, more or less.
More or less with the team. He was basically given the opportunity to no longer need to kill. Unfortunately, he still likes killing, so he's still killing, but he no longer needs to survive.
Right.
Which was a major crux of his situation, was that he had to kill. I think it was like, what was it? You had to take their life force?
Yeah, that's what his tentacles were used for.
Take the life force, and he was basically being forced into that.
Right. So yeah, $25 for that book there. I'm gonna leave that on the rack. Next up on the rack, I have Tomb of Dracula, issue 19. This is a very good grade. For only $12, you can have this Tomb of Dracula right here. Tomb of Dracula is one of my dad's favorite works because he loves Gene Colan. Gene Colan, of course, is an amazing artist.
So you're awake, Dracula, but you've awakened too late. Too late to stop this wooden stake from plunging into your heart. Like he doesn't have like super speed or anything.
No, that's it. Too late.
Too late. Yeah, you know, I love to narrate what I'm doing when I'm about to stab someone. It really gets the blood flowing.
So if you want to find out if Dracula dies in this issue,
don't look up if there's anything past issue 19.
don't look it up.
He dies in this issue. Imagine if that actually was the issue where he died. Next up, we have a DC special. superheroes war against the monsters with stories between each DC superhero and the monsters that they're combating.
So Superman here is being trapped by giant super bugs. Green Lantern is facing the leap year menace, everyone's favorite. The world's mightiest family battles. 3 emissaries of some monstrous proportion. That's the Captain Marvel, the Shazam family. So this is a $6 book. DC Special number 21. $6 for this book here.
I don't trust those trees. They seem kind of shady. So
We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Imagine being at a convention and going to an interview panel that's just for you. No bustling crowds, no hours-long lines, just you, the moderator, and your favorite comic book creators. Well, this is pretty much that. Miss Jen sits down every week with 2 comic book creators for a live stream interview about their latest work, and you can ask them whatever you want. It's Talking Shop, Mondays at 5 Eastern on The Experience, Comic Culture and Sales. Comic Collectibles is a pretty straightforward show. You got Rex here, he sells the comics, and you got Rock and Robbie, he knows about the comics. And finally, John, well, no one really knows what John does. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's a great guy, but he just keeps showing up. Come to think of it, I don't even really know how he gets in here. Anyway, awesome comics, rare books, rarer signatures, slabbed books, and amazing cover sketches by Ken Hazer and others. Simple formula, you want the comics, you buy the comics. To sum up, Rex sells the comics, Robbie knows the comics, and John, who might possibly be a ghost. I mean, seriously, has anyone ever seen him show up or leave? Comic Collectibles with Rex and John, Mondays from 6 to 8 Eastern on The Experience, Comic Culture and Sales.
Why was Princess Zelda sad after watching a bunch of YouTube videos? She couldn't find the link in the description. We'll stop if you subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's super easy. Click subscribe and click the bell when you do. And thanks for supporting the EXP.
hey guys, we're back from commercial.
Hello. All right.
It is 6:18.
This is going to be the last stretch here.
Your clock is wrong.
Oh yeah, wait.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
You're right. 6:03. Sorry, I keep on forgetting that this computer is incorrect. Time for some reason.
Old Dell. All right.
Dell
so
computers. I love them.
let's get into some older books here. I have a couple Marvel Collector's Item Classics, issue 8 and 10. They are very much red, but just $9. This is a rarity item here. This had, I believe, a lot of reprints of old Tales of Suspense books, Fantastic Four, Strange Tales.
Okay.
Happy to hold these up.
Yep.
$9 for each of those.
Yep. Collector's items featuring specific issues from Tales of Suspense, Fantastic Four, Strange Tales, Hulk, and classic stories. So next up,
we have a DC special, presenting some earth-shaking stories. Tell the
Earth-shaking.
folks about this.
So, in this story, Superman becomes the most dangerous man on Earth with the superhuman bomb. And then the Flash and Green Lantern battle major disaster. And then finally, the world's mightiest mortal, a.k.a. Shazam, or Captain Marvel, faces atomic fire. So yeah, 4 classic heroes that very much were basically in charge of the Golden Age comics.
Just $6 on this one. $6, number 18. Next up, we have a very odd DC series. DC Special presents Strangest Sports Stories. These are the strangest sports stories ever told. This is in fine grade. $12 for this book here. They actually later did a strange sports series, DC. I think under the Vertigo title.
On the Vertigo.
They kind of made fun of these stories.
Yeah, thrilled to the most popular sport of the 22nd century, Spaceball. Pretty interesting. It looks like just a knockoff of basketball, but in a 3D environment. So, pretty interesting. But yeah.
Can't go wrong with some Spaceball.
Spaceball. The favorite sport. Right behind Quidditch. But yeah. So next up we have a little bit more DC. We have The Atom.
The Atom, world's smallest superhero. This is in very good condition. $25. Lock up in a lethal light bulb featuring the amazing villain Dr. Light. This is a very old Atom issue right here.
And the first appearance of Dr. Light. So definitely a character that has grown in popularity since being introduced. Was a key part of in the 2000s the story. But yeah, $25.
Very nice Silver Age book right there. All right.
Yep. Next up, we have some Secret Invasion books in anticipation of the show. So hopefully you guys are excited for the show, just like we are. We're getting Winter Soldier vibes from it. So. Big hefty stack.
Big chunk right here. Very excited for this show to come out. It did get delayed a little bit, but still will be coming soon. Secret Invasion, number 1 I have here of the current volume. This is a 550 book. Very fun mini right here. Secret Invasion number 1.
The most recent series. Maria Hill and Nick Cage and Iron Man combat the Skrull invasion after the original Secret Invasion event. So
this is a great way to jump into the concept of the Skrulls. I don't know if the current show will be borrowing from this series at all.
I really doubt it. Maybe the blood thing. Maybe
cool,
maybe the testing of the blood might be the one thing that I would love if it took the cold open from this series. Because the cold open is actually really interesting. Basically, this family's grieving over their dead husband, and then they come under the delusion that maybe their husband was a Skrull. Therefore, the real husband's still alive. And they kind of wander off on that conclusion, which isn't true at all. And Nick Fury has to come in and basically explain to them that when a Skrull dies,
they revert to their original form. Yeah.
Exactly.
So this is a really cool series if you want to jump into the Secret Invasion story.
Yeah.
Next up, I have some of the main original Secret Invasion event. A select few, because again, this is a very popular series now.
Yeah.
I have issue 4 for $6. It's very fine, near mint condition.
Hulkling,
Bendis,
Wiccan,
Hulkling,
and Fury.
Wiccan, Kate Bishop, and Nick are all featured on this cover. Secret Invasion number 4. The original series was pretty earth-shaking for the Marvel Universe at the time.
Yeah.
All of the Earth's, heroes and people in power were slowly being replaced by Skrulls. That's why it's called Secret Invasion, because before they knew it, the Skrulls had taken all these positions of power right under their feet. So
yeah, it was kind of hinted at in the ongoings as time went.
So this is a Brian Michael Bendis book and art by Lionel Francis Yu. Really great team right here. This is probably some of their strongest work. I don't know if they work together much
After this,
but this is a really great team.
Yeah.
Right.
Who turned out to be a Skrull? It was Hank Pym, Cap, Thor.
Well, the biggest one was Spider-Woman was Queen Veronica.
Yes, that was it.
So that was a huge reveal right there. You'll see a cover featuring her in a moment. So issue 6, $6.50. We're asking for this book. Issue 6 of Secret Invasion. This is the original cover, but I also have a variant. This variant is $15, and this features that very Skrull we're talking about, Queen Veronica, who is taking the form of Jessica Drew, Spider-Woman.
Yeah, with Cap and Yellow Jacket, aka Hank Pym, also being replaced with Skrull versions on the cover.
So this is a hard to find variant, only $15.
Yay! Pastor Michael apparently came into the chat.
Hello. Next up, I have a couple different covers for this as well. Secret Invasion number 7, $6.
Pete was replaced also, I'm guessing, in the event.
Yeah, this is a really funny cover because it's like
Morphing
Skrull's,
around
like,
his
tongue
face.
is out and stuff, and he's like gone all feral on him.
Yeah, which, let's be honest, going feral against Wolverine probably isn't a good idea.
Probably not the best move.
Yeah. Tends to lead to dismemberment of arms and legs, particularly.
Would not recommend.
Would not recommend.
But I also have a variant by Lionel Francis Yu. This is $8 for the variant of issue number 7.
Has Natasha Romanoff, Peter Parker, and Wolverine combating against the Skrulls. And with the Watcher looking in the distance.
And then finally, the final issue of Secret Invasion, issue 8, for $8.
And this is the final issue, wrapping up the story, showing off that all the Skrulls have been defeated for now. Dun dun dun. I always did love this shiny suit for Cap. I don't know why.
It's nice, yeah.
It's like
I like. Isn't it the one that Bucky also
used.
had?
Yeah,
The shiny, like.
black, white, red.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
no,
this
it's like
suit, yeah.
clean.
This wasn't Bucky.
It wasn't Bucky. It was
Yeah.
Steve.
But yeah,
Because,
this suit was used by Bucky when he took over, and I really liked it.
Yeah,
It's a good design.
it's a great design.
Yeah, issue 8, $8. Claim Secret Invasion with Natasha Romanoff. Okay, I believe you're referring to issue 7 variant.
Yes.
This one right here. I'm going to hold it up for a second. $8.
Okay. Awesome. So outside of comics, what have you been doing, Elias? You've been watching Buffy recently. How's that going?
Been watching Buffy. Been reading a lot of stuff. I caught up on all my books for this week last night. That was very fun.
What else did you read?
do. I read World's Finest. I read Nightcrawlers. I'm just looking at the shelf here. Hellcat was also good.
I'm glad that was good. I haven't read the second issue. It turned out to be a Sleepwalker mini, which is pretty nice.
Yeah, very cool. And I also read Punisher.
Oh, yeah. How was Punisher?
Crazy.
Oh, really?
Crazy Punisher issue, man.
I need to read that.
Yeah, you gotta check that out. Yeah. Just really good. I won't spoil anything.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Next up, we have Secret Invasion Chronicles. I'm guessing is short stories within that universe.
Yep.
During that
So
time
I have
frame?
1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So the whole series. $6.50 is the asking price on each of these books. These were, chunkier books that had a bunch of short stories from the Secret Invasion era. You want to just flip through them?
Yeah. Since the Sinister is sick, it's giving very much Age of Apocalypse vibes, but it's so well told because it's jumping times 10 every time. So 10 years, 100 years, and 1,000 years to close out the event. So it's pretty great. But yeah, I love Juggernaut being revealed in the end, being like slowly moved by like just random factors to hit the one spot he needed to. Pretty wild. Also, recently we got to see for the first time Galactus as a Ghost Rider, which was pretty wild, to say the least. But yeah, these are the covers for Secret Invasion Chronicles.
All right, next up, I got the full limited run of the Secret Invasion Amazing Spider-Man series.
Why is Mary Jane wearing a...
That's her
Captain
jackpot.
Marvel.
That's her jackpot suit.
Oh, it's just a rip-off
So
of
I guess she
Captain
was jackpot. at the
Marvel
time.
boy.
Yeah, I don't know. What
The
was,
green and white.
I don't know what was first. Well, Amazing Spider-Man Secret Invasion 1, 2, and 3, all right here. $5 for the whole bundle.
Yeah.
Check out, I have all the tie-ins here for the Secret Invasion event. So if there's any corner of that event that you did not get to touch on or get to read up on,
We probably have it.
you probably have it.
So this is the Spider-Man one. Let's go through some of them. Next one is
I'll go through the series.
I just read like some of the series.
Sorry, what you meant.
No, you're good.
Go to this side. This was a one-shot.
A Beta Ray Bill one
This
shot.
is a Beta Ray Bill one-shot. $4. Kieran Gillen.
Who is one of the premier Marvel writers right now, working on Sins of Sinister and most of the X-Men franchise as of current. Highly recommend.
Next up, we have the Secret Invasion X-Men mini, 4-issue mini.
You would think for Secret Invasion X-Men they would not go just 4, but so Laurel, is it Lauren or Laurel?
Lauren.
Lauren.
Oh, no, sorry, Laura.
Laura.
Kinney.
Laura Kinney.
Laura Kinney.
Why the last name Kinney? Do you know why? Emma Frost. Cyclops facing off against some squirrels, Nightcrawler and Pixie. Colossus. Dazzler. And then finally, I believe this is Firestar and Wolverine and Beast.
Yeah.
And Iceman. Yeah, Firestar and Iceman. together with Wolverine and Beast.
So just $5 for this bundle.
Back when he turned into a giant bear.
$5 for all the Secret Invasion bundles.
He turned more bear-like than ape-like for a bit. Interesting stuff has been happening with X-Force. I caught up on that recently.
Yeah.
Spoilers for X-Force, I guess. But basically, Beast has decided that in order to protect Krakoa, I will now be enemies of Krakoa in the fact that, like, Krakoa will no longer be associated with what he's doing. And so he'll just do the Black Ops missions that Krakoa needs without Krakoa being, like, having their name tied to it.
Mm-hmm.
And so Beast literally just decided to make this like a weird plant ship thing, like giant mech thing that he's using, and he made like 10 versions of himself and 10 versions of Wolverine, and just like commanding them to carry out like special ops missions.
That's crazy.
No, it's pretty wild. It's really weird, but it's cool.
So next up, we got Secret Invasion Thor mini, 3-issue mini by Matt Fraction.
I didn't realize you wrote Thor.
Yeah. Just $5 for this bundle.
Pretty wild. Hey.
Next up, we have the full Secret Invasion Frontline series. This is a 5-issue mini-series.
So what exactly does this entail?
So Frontline was cool because it was actually just a civilian level perspective of the whole Secret Invasion event.
Oh, that's actually wild.
So honestly,
Reed, I never heard.
Look it up. But yeah, this is very cool. Just a civilian level conflict instead of obviously the way that it affected all the superheroes and all that. This is a very kind of human level thing, and honestly is one of the better Secret Invasion minis in my opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah, full collection here, 1 through 5.
I really should reread Secret Invasion. How old were we when Secret Invasion came out? Like what, 7?
Yeah, I guess so. This is one of the earlier events. I mean, they didn't really have huge events like this before, I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah, Secret Wars was like the start, but then they kind of just didn't realize that they wanted to do it annually until significantly later.
Yeah.
But yeah, this and Civil War, X-Men versus Avengers, AVX.
Yeah.
One of the best events in a minute.
I think so.
Yeah. What is your least favorite event? Just curious. Of like all the Marvel events.
My least favorite event of Marvel? Well, I mean, the easy answer is Atlantis Attacks.
I don't know that one.
It's an old one.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of...
Frontline series started with Civil War. It was well received. They continued it for major events. Oh,
yeah.
That.
I don't know. Well, yeah, I guess Frontline was more street level, right? The Civil War one.
Yeah, it definitely was.
It definitely had more heroes in it than the Secret Invasion Frontline does.
Civil War was very interesting. Such a heartbreaking event when you really think about it.
Definitely.
Or Speedball. Or Speedball.
So next I have the Secret Invasion Fantastic Four mini, issue 1, 2, and 3. Right here.
Fantastic Four.
That's the last multi-issue mini that I have
Oh,
of
the
the
other
Secret
ones
Invasion ones.
are one-shots.
Yep, these are one-shots.
So, yeah. As you can tell, Secret Invasion was a very expansive event.
Mm-hmm.
That featured a lot of characters and did a lot of interesting ideas. Some of them paying off and some of them still being left in the dust. Michael was saying the worst event for Marvel has to be Secret Wars 2 back in the 80s.
Oh, there you go. That's also a very acceptable answer. I
I haven't read it, so.
don't know if you just the covers alone, you can tell they were like phoning home. It's crazy.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Because I heard the first one was also very late on the plot, so like.
yeah, it's interesting, right? Because it's like the first noteworthy Marvel event, but obviously, if you
It was just
really
for the
read,
toys.
if you read it now, it doesn't really have much substance to it. Yes, it was all those toys that they sold, and now they've done retro reissues of the same figures, and yeah, no, I forgot. But yeah, you're right. It was a big toy plot for sure.
Yeah. But I wonder what. Do you have any other contenders for worst events?
Well, I mean, it's pretty easy to throw any of the old events under the bus if I was to do this. If I was to answer that question, I'm just trying to think of any.
I think
Like
there was a
recent events.
2017
I can't
event
think of anything.
2019 Avengers event I really didn't like.
Oh yeah, there was some that you didn't like. Which was that?
Yeah, it was like something with the Unity Squad, and like Quicksilver.
Axis?
No, it wasn't Axis. It was like
Good, because I like Axis.
yeah, no, Axis is sick. It was like 2019.
With Unity Squad?
Yeah, 2019 or
Because
2020.
really the big events for them is obviously AVX, and then it was Axis, and then you're saying there was another one?
Yeah, there was another one. It was so small. It was like something involving Quicksilver specifically. Concept was the Beyonder came to Earth to learn about how to be human, then says this sucks and bounce.
Okay.
That sounds as boring as it comes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Avengers Beyond. I caught up on that. That one's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say the new issue comes out this Wednesday.
Perfect.
Avengers Beyond issue 2. If you want to, see what the Beyonder's up to now, that's also a cool book.
That's sick. But yeah, no. Right now it's interesting because basically he's trying to prep them for. We learned who finally created the Beyonders.
Right.
And it's like this one person. I think he's literally called the Nameless One. And so the way that the Beyonders have power is because they stole it from him.
Oh wow. Okay.
And so now it's being explained that he's coming after our Beyonder as recompense. And so that's why all these stories have been like weird and like he's basically been trying to speed up the plot by getting them in unlimited energy stores, like doing all these missions that led to a specific thing to basically like hit fast forward on an event, like an entire series run.
Okay.
Which I think is pretty meta because it's pretty funny because he's like, okay, first issue, it's like, okay, we got the medal, cool, done. Skip to the next thing. Okay, unlimited battery, next. Okay. So it's just really funny that he's just like, yeah, no plot, no plot related. U.S. Avengers event where they did Avengers for every state was terrible.
Avengers for every state.
50 States Initiative?
Well, I can't tell if that's what he means because he's saying U.S. Avengers, and that's a later book.
That was also a later thing with Cannonball and another general. I forget his name, but you can only become Red Hulk for an hour, and then we later got the thing where like he'll get a heart attack if he transformed again.
Yeah. Pretty silly. Hulk.
Yeah.
All right, let's finish up the Secret Invasion stretch. Secret Invasion Dark Reign by Brian Bendis and Alex Maleev. Classic team right there, if you ask me. This is a one-shot right here. For $4. This cover features the Cabal. This story features the Cabal, which was a very neat team. Dr. Doom, Lady Loki, looks like the Hood, Namor, and Emma Frost. Cabal was basically, the dark version of the Illuminati.
Yeah. I was surprised that Emma Frost was in it.
If you thought Illuminati was good guys, then this would be considered bad guys.
If you had to put them on a scale.
Yeah, if you had to.
Yeah, the Illuminati's always nice.
Yeah.
We love the Illuminati. Please don't assassinate us. Secret Invasion War of Kings featuring Black Bolt.
Dan Abnett is the writer on this one. War of Kings was another event. I've actually never read that one. Did you ever read War Kings?
No, I didn't.
I think that's really, really early 2000s event.
I was going to
But
say.
it's featuring
I remember that.
the Shi'ar and the Inhumans, all those, like that kind of side of the cosmic universe.
Okay.
So this is just sort of dealing with the Inhumans and the cosmic level to which the Secret Invasion was affected.
I was just wondering recently, would it be possible to just read every single Marvel comic, like within one person's lifetime?
Would it be possible?
Like, legitimately, I was just wondering the other day. I was like, would if you like sat down and did nothing but read Marvel comics, would you be able to ingest every single Marvel comic?
Yeah, I mean, it depends how fast you read, and would you enjoy the books?
No, you definitely are not enjoying it at that point. You're reading it like a job. You are quite literally at the desk, clocking in and reading.
Right.
in this hypothetical scenario, you go to work every day. They give you a stack of books, and they're like, read it or else, and you just have to go through the events.
Yeah. Next up, we got Secret Invasion one-shot. Who Do You Trust is the name of this one-shot. $4 for this book. This is another one-shot exhibiting the, every corner of the Marvel universe that's affected by the Secret Invasion. This, I believe, was kind of building up into the main events, more of a prequel series.
I kind of wish that Secret Invasion happened now, because I feel like with the internet now and Reddit and everything, it would just be way more engaging. Because I feel like back then it was very early 2000s, so like everyone was getting a handle on it. But like, imagine if like you had people theorizing each week on who was a Skrull, and like fighting each other on Reddit, just like trying to figure out who it was.
That'd be cool.
Which I think definitely the Secret Invasion show is going to lean into.
Yeah.
They should. If not, they're making a mistake.
Just want to remind you guys, anything that's up on the rack, even if I'm not talking about it, please feel free to comment about it if you're interested.
Yeah.
Because you probably can't see the prices from back here. Next up, Secret Invasion, Who Do You Trust? One, but it's a sketch variant. This is a Wizard World exclusive. $5 on this book. This is another sketch variant.
So what exactly is Wizard? As someone who doesn't really know much about it. Was it a publisher for Marvel at the time? Or
Wizard, they're a company that I know they did. Yeah, they were publishing stuff, but I believe they also just had a lot of events. They would like host. Wizard World is one of the events. They would like a convention that they would do. They had a lot of convention exclusives. I remember that. But yeah, Wizard, I think was mostly a publication company. They did a lot of kind of like preview or like issues that would kind of hype up the main event, stuff like that. Let's check it.
Yep.
So yeah, $5 Wizard World sketch variant right here.
We're going to skip the break and just power through.
All right. Secret Invasion Requiem is a one-shot that featured Hank Pym and Janet Van Dyne in some of their earlier adventures. This is a reprint book, reprints. But this is a very cool book here. Just $4 on this book.
Do you know who's the artist on the cover?
The cover
I feel like
artist.
I recognize the art.
Oh,
I definitely heard that.
KHO, but also it looks like Martinez also working on it.
Interesting.
I'm afraid to open this.
Yeah. And then finally, to close out our Secret Invasion stash, we have one of the goofiest covers.
Featuring some classic Skrulls right here.
If we want to show off this
Marvel Spotlight Secret Invasion. This is a very neat kind of preview book that features some interviews with Brian Michael Bendis, Lana Francis Yu, Brian Reed, and the other creators on this series, and also features the Avengers Kree Skrull War.
So as you can see from their bug-eyed expressions, they are very, very frightened, hopped up on cocaine, and very, very, very afraid for their lives.
This is the classic look of the scroll, so definitely a bit goofier.
Yeah, I'm kind of happy that they made them more serious later on. Very, very funny though. Very like frog-like, I want to say.
Yeah, so he specified that Wizard was like Nintendo Power Magazine for nerds. They didn't do any one thing specifically, but talked about everything.
So I Googled it. As of 2021, the New York Times published an article that Marvel has published 27,000 comics in total, and there has been someone who has read it all.
Wow. Okay.
That person, I hope you are doing okay.
We should try and find that person.
Oh, I thought you were going to say we should try it. Yeah, we should just read every Marvel comic. I was about to tell you, like, no, I do not have the time for that. I barely have the time to keep up with my current comics, let alone read every single comic. You would have to put a gun to my head. Read all of Secret Wars, too.
I want to find out who this person is, though.
Yeah.
That's actually insane.
Yeah, like, oh my God, I can't even imagine how long it took. But when they caught up, they probably were so relieved.
Yeah.
They were probably like, okay, now we only got to wait once a week.
Right.
And then they probably got so used to reading so quickly, they probably like blitzed through all their comics on that one day. How would you even do that with like a legitimate paying job?
That's insane.
Yeah. I'm like actually curious.
Don't use this a lot.
I was going to say, I was like, wait, this was a mistake. I was going to type up on this computer. Let me search it up on my phone. I want to know who this person is.
So that's the last of our Secret Invasion stash. A lot of minis that you can read if you want.
So Douglas Wolk has read every available Marvel comic on his journey to author of all of the Marvels. And says one of the fascinating things about Marvel as a single story is that any part of it can use any previous part of history. The past is always showing up in the present.
Does he just mean that editorial is consistent? What does he mean by that?
He means that like you can pull from the past and it wouldn't really affect.
You definitely don't have to read everything to understand like the current Marvel universe as it stands. There's events that retcon stuff. There's events that don't touch anything. Like I feel like if you made a list of like the necessary reading, like it would be very different than just everything.
Some people are calling this a triathlon of reading. That would be absurdly difficult to calculate.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's actually insane.
It's crazy.
If you read 20 comics a day, it would take nearly 6 years to get through all the Marvel comics.
20 a day?
Yeah, but that's not including that like
new releases.
New releases, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I wonder if this guy's actually caught up to like current stuff.
Oh well, he is apparently.
Well, when is this article from?
This article's from like 2017.
Okay.
2022. This one.
Okay.
But he caught up. It doesn't say exactly when he caught up, but either way, insane, absolutely nuts. What? Man was probably carrying so many comics in his bag constantly.
Yeah, just always had something on him.
Man read amazing. Wait, yeah. Well, how would that work? Would he have to read? Is he saying like he read it physically, or did he just like read it in general? Because that also changes everything. Because I bet you $1,000 this man did not read Amazing Fantasy 15 in his hands.
Right. Yeah. He must be using like Comixology.
Something along those lines.
Read everything.
That has like all the scanned issues.
Mm-hmm.
We find the one issue that he hasn't read. We show up to his doorstep. They didn't scan this.
Wave it in front of him.
Yeah, wave it in front of him. He tries to fight us for it. Most of Golden Age catalog is in trade or digital.
Yeah.
So there you go.
But I mean, I'm just saying, if you were to buy all those physical copies, how would you? You'd have to be pretty rich.
Yeah, your paychecks are only going to comics. You're just going to eat the comics when you're done.
There you go. That's
how you save money. You just don't buy food anymore.
Yeah.
Who needs food anyway? Who needs sleep? When you have comics.
All right, so next up, I got a nice chunk of the sensational She-Hulk. The She-Hulk Season 1 just wrapped up recently. I enjoyed it myself. I think it kind of had polarizing reviews, but Sensational She-Hulk got a few different issues. Issue 2 right here. This series is from the late 80s, by the way, 89 to be specific. Sensational She-Hulk, $5 for issue 2 right here.
Yeah.
Just gonna add
Michael said that I'm pretty sure you could skip the weird Dennis the Menace stuff. I wonder, are those technically canon?
Yeah, right.
What do you think? Like Dennis got like
All of the
a
Marvels.
car insurance claim against Iron Man for the one time he crashed through his car?
All the Marvel, like funny animals, all that stuff. You could probably go without.
No, you have to read. just you have to read. It doesn't count. This man has read every single Dennis the Menace Marvel comic.
Yeah. Then we have Sensational She-Hulk issue 5.
Then, like, if you have any characters that were brought in later, what about that? Like
So,
Angela.
yeah. Right.
So this is issue 5.
This book is especially funny because it looks like the Flintstones are accompanying Jen Walters on this cover.
Yeah.
Really funny cover there.
Looks like she's being transported into the TV. So, pretty funny. As you guys know, Sensational She-Hulk was very much a run that popularized the fact that She-Hulk was a comedy character. Very well known. Was it Slott on this?
I don't remember the creative team.
I know that one of Slott's major runs was the She-Hulk run.
They
That
didn't,
was like
they,
one of
didn't,
his
they didn't
things.
put them on the cover back in these days.
I know. Back in my day.
Wouldn't want them that way. Sensational She-Hulk number 12, featuring a very comedic version of the X-Men.
Yeah.
That's $4.
X-Men Assemble for $3.50.
$3.50. Okay, $3.50.
And if you guys have any questions about the prices for the other books, definitely don't be afraid to ask.
Issue 13, Shulky visits the village of the Darned.
Shulky.
I guess that was another
Nickname for
nickname for her, yeah.
Pretty interesting.
This is a very fun cover as well, featuring what looks like to be Howard, the Cosmic Squish Principle, Part 4 for issue 17 of the Sensational She-Hulk for $4.50.
I know that She-Hulk and Howard actually had the same creative team at one point. And when Howard ended, they just continued Howard's story in She-Hulk. I'm pretty sure this might be the issues where they just continued it. But yeah.
She's saying,
Brett-
speak English, duck. What were you going to say?
I was going to say that was the series that Brendan really recommended, was the Howard the Duck run from that era. Apparently it's really good. And he would say was the best Howard the Duck run that he ever read.
That's funny. 2 copies of issue 19 of Sensational She-Hulk for $4 as well, featuring Nosferatu, the She-Bat. Knows for what? Knows for... Yeah.
Nosferatu.
Whole gag on the cover.
Nosferatu. If anyone gets that reference, I'm happy.
This one's interesting.
But yeah. She-Hulk always fighting these wacky villains.
Yeah.
Side characters that hadn't been used in quite a minute or were just created just as one-off jokes.
I think the TV show kind of captured her comedy pretty well. Obviously, with those was that the final episode with the fourth Wolverine or second?
Oh yeah.
Final.
Where she just broke into Disney headquarters.
Yeah, I hope they keep kind of capitalizing on that part of her character in the show.
I also like the actress.
And also I really like the actress.
I wish She-Hulk, the actual Hulk version, looked more like her.
Yeah, the CG is very, very odd choice, I feel like, on that. Like on her face and stuff.
Yeah. But I feel like her hair going from very curly to not was very weird.
Yeah.
It just felt like two very different characters.
Definitely. Issue 20, Trapped in Dorkham Asylum. Nice little DC reference for you there.
Hey, are you trying to say that
See that
DC
knockoff
has
Joker right there?
dork? Are you saying that DC readers are dorks? How dare you?
Only $2 for that book.
Yep, has a knockoff penguin also in the bottom left corner.
Oh yeah, that's good. This one looks a little more serious. The Return of the Blonde Phantom, issue 22 of Sensational She-Hulk. We're now in the 90s, by the way. 1990 is when this came out.
The All-Winter Squad. So who's this on the front right here? Who is this?
That is the Blonde Phantom.
The Blonde Phantom. I've never heard of it.
Yeah, so looks like we got Captain America, Namor, Wizard, Bucky, and the original Human Torch and his sidekick Toro right there.
And wait, so who's this right here?
Miss America, I believe.
Miss America.
Miss America, yeah. Yeah, All-Winter Squad is an old World War II era team.
I mean, I love the original Human Torch. That's definitely... Also, wait, both Human Torches.
Yeah, Human Torch and Toro was the sidekick.
Oh, Toro was a sidekick?
They haven't touched on Toro. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I didn't know he had a sidekick. What?
Yeah, dude.
Was it? Wait, so with his sidekick, is that also another android that catches on fire, or did he purposefully set him on fire to then have him be a sidekick?
I used to know this.
Did the Human Torch say, like, I had enough of the suffering, I need someone else to suffer with me, and made a boy android just to burn with him?
Yeah, maybe. I can't remember.
Human Torch is secretly
I feel like
psychotic.
Toro is human, actually.
Oh my god.
So maybe someone in the comments can correct me. Is Toro human or an android?
And I wonder, because that means that Johnny then is technically the third Human Torch? Like the human...
Right. Technically would be. Sensational She-Hulk featuring Death's Head.
Death's Head?
I don't know if you know Death's Head.
No, I don't.
Death's Head is an extremely obscure character from Marvel UK who made his way over to the main Marvel continuity and books. And this cover features him. He's a 90s character, I believe, so that's why he's featured there.
Marvel UK is very interesting,
yeah,
to say the least, from what I've heard.
Issue 25, $4.
She-Hulk
featuring
doing,
Hercules.
yeah, with her and Hercules reenacting Romeo and Juliet.
Kyle said Toro is an Inhuman.
Oh, he's an Inhuman? So wait, did they already set up the Terrigen Mist and everything like that?
No. They must have later.
Toro existed before Marvel Comics existed.
Yeah, he's timely, right?
Well, he was before Timely. He was originally an American Comic Books publication.
Oh wow.
So then he came to Timely, and then obviously Marvel as a partner of the Human Torch. But they've classified him as an Inhuman more recently, I guess, without classifying him in the old days.
Huh.
Okay.
Interesting. I wonder if what was the last story he was in recently.
Yeah.
Because I didn't even know Human Torch had a sidekick. That's actually insane. Like, this is the first time I'm hearing about it.
Golden Age stuff.
Which is wild because I actually really enjoy Human Torch as a character. Like, the awful struggle of being literally forced to just burn perpetually while trying to find life and meaning.
They still haven't. They fixed that.
Well, he can do that. He
can flame off now.
Yeah, he can flame off now. I mean, he made the new body.
I just mean the recent.
Well, last time we saw him was
in the
Fantastic
Four.
Four.
Johnny.
Yeah, Johnny can flame off now. They just resolved it in the last issue. And was like,
oh, right.
Oh, we fixed it! Yay! And it was like really.
Yeah.
That was like the most interesting thing you had, and you got rid of it.
Yeah,
and wasted it.
Interesting twist for him for sure.
He only did one really interesting issue where it was like Johnny was like stuck in the basement of the Baxter building, and was like crying. But like the moisture was literally like evaporating as soon as he would cry, so it would like actually hurt him.
Right.
It's really terrible. But the only one who could stand in the room with him was Thing,
Right.
which made him feel really, really bad. But even Thing couldn't like touch him. Like he could stay in the room, but he couldn't touch him. It was like that.
Wow.
Yeah, no, it was really bad.
This is a very fun cover of issue 27 featuring Dragon Man and Grey Gargoyle.
I mean, he was even burning underwater at that point.
Wow.
Yeah, apparently he no longer needed oxygen. He was just burning through straight cosmic rays. Man, Grey Gargoyle. We haven't seen him since Sin Eater took him out, right?
Yeah.
Grey Gargoyle.
Unless he's in this current New Mutants Lethal Legion.
No, he's not.
Okay.
He's not. It's actually funny. They reference the Sin Eater stuff. Count not Vertigo. Count Nefario. Sorry, there's always a Count. Oh, and then
Count Nefaria. Yeah.
Nefario is basically like trying to get a new team together, and these mutants are trying to sneak in to steal from him.
Okay.
Just funny fun. It's just a heist.
So Pastor Michael said his last experience was in the 2009 miniseries, The Torch, set during the Dark Line storyline.
Huh.
Toro was in Invaders in 2014. Okay. Yeah, there's been some really good recent Invaders runs, too.
Yeah.
That I definitely have to check out.
You know what would be a crazy twist? If Redacted was Toro.
That would be awesome.
That would be wild, and that's why he's able to survive in the metal body.
I would love that.
If it was like Redacted was actually like a long time, but you couldn't tell Cap or anything.
Yeah. Issue 28 features Mephisto saying, "Trust me, just sign the dotted line."
Oh yes, 100%. Yes, Mephisto.
Always trust Mephisto.
Always trust him. Never before. Totally will not steal your wife or life or anything else you care about. Gotta love it. Mephisto, every day, every hour.
Issue 29 featuring Spidey.
Yeah. Oh no. With this
They
promiscuous,
a bit upset with each other.
Yeah, this slightly promiscuous cover, but not in the normal sense. Pretty funny though. Spider-Man might have activated the web shooters a little bit early.
Issue 30 featuring Hobgoblin.
Cornucoblin. I didn't plan for you until Halloween. Yeah, I wonder what was the last thing with Demogoblin in it? He was in something recently, right?
Demogoblin?
Yeah.
The last thing
he's like one of my favorite
was
versions.
Absolute Carnage, Lethal Protectors, that three-issue mini, which was good, I thought.
Demogoblin's such an interesting character.
Yeah.
Bring him to a church. Let him burn in there. What if you just built a church around a demon? Like, would they die?
That'd be cool.
You just literally trap them, and then you just build a church around them, and then like as soon as like the holy water anoints the church, it just freaking dies.
Yeah. Really, like long workaround way.
Yeah, it's just, everyone's like, why wouldn't you just kill it immediately? It's like, well, I don't know.
Sensational She-Hulk 31 featuring a very fourth wall breaking moment between She-Hulk and a writer, it looks like. These two minutes.
I caught that, luckily. We have 10 minutes left or so. If you want to hear more of our thoughts about more recent comics and stuff like that, you can find us on the Cosmic Panel, at the Cosmic Panel on YouTube. That's our own personal comic channel where we do video games and other weird, goofy, fun stuff like tier lists. Like we did a 3-hour video, which should be coming out someday. Someday. That is ranking every single Avengers on a tier list.
Every single Avengers member individually on a tier list. Including
reserve members, but not honorary members.
Yeah.
We made a very, very specific rule, and we went through the wiki and got every single person. Yeah. Took forever. It was like over 300 people.
Yeah. It took multiple sessions, took ages, but that's the Cosmic Panel on YouTube. We're also on TikTok, Instagram, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, be sure to check it out.
Also follow Fat Jacks on TikTok. And yeah.
Yeah, we just made a Fat Jacks TikTok account. Trying to be active on there. So yeah, please check us out on there. If we get 1,000 followers on there, that would be awesome. So that's issue 32.
Yep, 32.
And 33 with Mole Man and Jennifer on the cover getting married.
Oh no. What a revolting development this is. Yikes. Mole and wife.
Isn't that a Thing reference? What a revolting development.
I think so.
I think that's something he says often.
My Aunt Petunia.
Yeah, between you.
Aunt Petunia.
Issue 36, special holiday issue.
Hi, this is Jen. I can't come to the cover right now as Wheezy and I are on our way to California to spend the holidays with my dad. Leave a message at the sound of the beep and I'll get back to you next issue. Thanks. That's funny.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that quite a bit. I will say one of the funniest bits was when they did the classic Hulk intro of She-Hulk.
Yes, I did like that.
That was really funny.
That was a good idea.
They just had her spray painted green. It was funny.
Issue 42, featuring looks like Zemnu in the back.
Oh,
Obscure Marvel monster character.
Zemnu, who featured most recently in the Immortal Hulk run.
Yeah.
As a very interesting antagonist. Character that very creepy when you boil him down to it.
Well, I mean, Al kind of reinvented him like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, he's really just supposed to be an alien monster that was just, he's from like the classic Marvel monsters.
Yeah.
So they never had too much substance to like what the
And then he made the mind warping stuff.
And then he like introduced all this crazy stuff.
Zemu's your friend. Zemu.
Zemnu, yeah.
Zemnu.
Issue 45 wasn't Razorback in the show?
Who? Oh, yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Yes.
So appearance of this guy from the show Razorback.
Who is Wheezy? Just curious. I don't know.
She-Hulk, Wheezy.
I don't know who Wheezy is.
I don't know.
Do you happen to know
They're getting erased.
Wheezy? And yeah,
They're
She-Hulk.
getting erased off the cover.
She-Hulk, no. No, a different Wheezy.
Weezer.
An issue 46 featuring a She-Hulk puzzle.
Yeah, where she's transforming. Always forget Jen had to wear glasses before. Gotta be uncomfy to take them off every time you transform.
Yeah, she must
She transforms back, she's like literally blind
Yeah.
for like a couple minutes.
Tune in for Punch and Jen, issue 47.
Punch and Jen.
Oh,
Obviously a spoof on the old World War II cartoon puppet shows.
here's Wheezy. In this issue, your favorite villain, we guarantee it. This is Wheezy.
Ah, so Wheezy's taking over for the show. Hey, just a gosh darn minute. So Wheezy's a villain. Got it.
Yeah.
What'd you think
I'm
of...
wheezy right now, but that's just this bronchitis. Is that supposed to be a dad joke, Kyle?
Yeah.
No, I'm actually sick.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
But it works both ways, so I win.
Yeah.
It does.
Just a couple minutes left here, I believe.
Let's just quickly speed through these last ones.
Yeah, just 3 more issues. So 49, 50, and 51 of the Sensational She-Hulk.
Yeah. If you guys want any of them to fulfill your run, highly recommend. Wasn't Wheezy George Jefferson's wife from the Jeffersons back in the late 70s? I don't know. But yeah, She-Hulk, pivotal run. Highly recommend it, especially if you enjoyed the TV show.
And hopefully we'll be getting a season 2 very soon.
Yeah.
Shiny issue 50.
dangle it in front of their faces.
Shiny. Shiny equals
He sees
good.
shiny. Yeah, shiny equals good. that is the comic book brain working in full swing.
So, don't forget that we are right here in Philly on Sansom Street. Please come visit us. We have all these books here.
Plus more.
And many, many more. So yeah, thanks for joining us on this first show back.
Yeah, first stream.
And I hope everyone has a wonderful evening.
Yeah, definitely.
Join the party. Head over to our link tree to find all the links for everywhere the experience is all the time.